All right, ready? Okay. All right, so changing the pension plan, again, modest changes. One of the things that I talked about, and I get confused which session I'm at, but again, this is an example of where we were kind of on an island by ourselves. What I want to do, what I proposed, or what we proposed, I should say, is that I've always had a little bit of a heartache over the difference in the Steelworker Pension Trust Fund and the defined plan in terms of the difference in payout. If you looked at somebody that was hired in 2004 compared to somebody who was hired in 2005 in December, a year apart, and they retired 30 years later, the individual who retires on the SBT will make about $5,000 more a year than a guy hired a year earlier. It's not set up right, and it's like, so I proposed that we go back, and Wade and I crunched a bunch of numbers, we went back and sort of analyzed things and looked at the impact of that. And while guys like Jack probably would not benefit as much because of the years you have, whatever, but overall, and Steve, I guess you two wouldn't maybe, because you guys were already getting, what, 85 or something like that, I forget, whatever, so the impact for you guys wouldn't be as much, but on average, if we went back and adjusted all years from 2006 forward to 107, then we're even. We're kind of even. And we proposed that. It was out there. That was getting some traction. Then 1010 said, nah, we don't really want that because it's going to cost money, so we're not going to get it. So they went with the 10-year certainty. So this is a good time to talk about that. So the 10-year certainty, what that does, in a nutshell, basically, is if you're married, well, even if you're not married, you can get a 10-year certainty. So let's use the example that your pension check is $3,000, just for easy math. So for the first currently, or before this contract, for the first 5 years, I'm going to get $3,000. In year 6, it's going to get reduced by whatever option I chose. Whether the auto 50, which was already in place, or the auto 75, my pension is now going to be reduced to some lower number based on my spouse's age and my age at retirement. They look at mortality tables back to 1983. They project out how far your spouse is going to live based on her age or his age at retirement, and therefore your total actuarial equivalent pension would be reduced so that you cover that second life. You're basically buying an annuity for your spouse, right? So typically, a person with 35 years or so retires at 62. That $3,000 pension check would be reduced to about $2,700 if you're about the same age, maybe $2,650, about $300 a month is what you get reduced to, right? So now we add this 10-year certainty, and both Wade and I kept asking McCall and Chad and 1010 guys, have you crunched the numbers on this? I mean, what does this look like? I mean, what happens in year 11? Does your pension go up because you're covering fewer years under the surviving spouse benefit? What impact does it have? Oh yeah, it should increase that. I mean, it should go up. I'm like, well, I'm not convinced that it's going to, but we kept asking questions about that. Well, I got the new tables about 3 weeks ago, and to my dismay, of course, that's not the case. So because they did not ask for more money in your pension, all they did is redistributed your actuarial equivalent value of your pension differently. So instead of getting that money that was figured out for you to your age 90 in equal payments, now you're getting more of it on the front end of it, thereby reducing the amount you're going to get from years 11 to 30. So you're not losing any money, you're getting it up front, you're just not gaining anything. There's no big windfall.